I'm Olivia Grace, 28 years old. In my white dress, I cut our wedding cake with Justin. Laughter and claps filled the room, but a hollow ache gripped my chest. Not one family member stood among the guests, only friends and my new in-laws. As we pressed the knife into the frosting, my phone lit up. A message from Mom: "We need to talk now." Below it, 30 missed calls. Fear and curiosity twisted my stomach. "Where are you watching from? Ever felt betrayed by family? It hurts most when it's your own blood, doesn't it?" To explain why my family skipped my wedding, let's go back. I grew up in an Ohio suburb with my parents, Daniel and Evelyn Grace, and my younger sister, Harper. We seemed like the perfect American family. Matching Christmas sweaters, yearly beach vacations. But behind closed doors, I felt like an emotional orphan. Harper, 3 years younger, was the golden child. Her blonde curls, dimpled smile, and vibrant charm won everyone. She danced ballet, played violin, and had a magnetic pull on people. I never envied her talents or beauty. What hurt was our parents' unequal treatment. "Mom, I got into the advanced science program," I said one high school evening, clutching my letter. She glanced up from Harper's dance costume. "Nice, honey. Put it on the counter for Dad." But when Harper won third in a dance contest that week, our parents threw a big dinner, toasting our little star. I sat quietly, pushing food around, wondering why my win got only a passing nod. It wasn't just once. It was my childhood. I excelled in math and science, earning scholarships, but Harper's moments always overshadowed mine. My parents missed my high school graduation for Harper's recital. "You understand, right? It's big for her future," Mom said when I spoke up. I understood, but it still hurt. By college, I'd come to terms with my role in the family pecking order. I called home less, knowing talks would always turn to Harper's latest wins. Instead, I built my own world, found friends who truly saw me, and poured myself into my biomedical engineering studies. In my senior year, I graduated with top honors. My parents swore they'd be at the ceremony. I saved 4 seats, 2 for them, 1 for Harper and 1 for my best friend, Naomi. But on graduation morning, Mom texted, "Harper's got a big audition in New York. So proud of you. Send photos." Only Naomi's seat wasn't empty. Naomi became my chosen family. We bonded instantly at freshman orientation. She studied psychology, always understanding in ways my family wasn't. After college, we got jobs in Boston and shared an apartment for 3 years. She held me through tears after tough holiday visits or ignored birthday calls. I met Justin Bryant at a friend's birthday party when I was 26. Tall, with warm brown eyes and a laugh that lit up the room, he drew everyone in. On our 3rd date, I shared my family struggles, bracing for the usual awkward pity. But Justin reached for my hand. "That's not right, Olivia. You deserve unconditional love." His words hit hard. I'd always wondered if I was too sensitive, too needy. Justin showed me my pain was real, my family's dynamic unhealthy. As we got closer, Justin urged me to set boundaries. "You can't change them," he'd say, "but you can choose how you react." He suggested therapy, and I started with Dr. Winters. She taught me about emotional neglect and its impact on my self-worth. Dr. Winters introduced radical acceptance. I stopped chasing my parents' love and accepted their limits. It hurt, but it freed me. I quit seeking their approval and focused on a life that brought me joy. Justin became my anchor, my cheerleader, my haven. His family embraced me from our first visit to Connecticut. His mom, Linda, called just to talk. His dad, Robert, shared science articles he knew I'd like. His sister, Olivia, became the sibling I'd always wanted. "You're one of us now," Linda said on my 2nd visit. "In our family, we cheer for every win, big or small." That night, I sobbed in their guest bathroom, overwhelmed by kindness that felt so unfamiliar. Justin found me, held me silently, knowing exactly why I cried. With therapy, Justin's encouragement, and my own resolve, I vowed to stop tying my worth to my family's blindness. I'd build my own joy and, most importantly, break the cycle for my future kids. I didn't realize how much that promise would be tested when Justin and I planned our wedding. On our 2-year anniversary at the indie theater of our first date, the movie paused. A custom trailer played, showing our photos and videos set to our favorite song. When the lights rose, Justin knelt before me, holding a simple, elegant diamond ring. "Olivia Grace, you're the strongest, kindest, most brilliant woman I know. Will you marry me?" Tears mixed with laughter as I said yes, the theater bursting into cheers. It was perfect, thoughtful, and so Justin. Later, sipping champagne in our apartment, anxiety crept in. I had to tell my family. They'll be thrilled, Justin said, though his slight pause hinted at doubt. I called Mom the next day, nerves tight as the phone rang. She picked up on the fourth ring. Mom, big news. Justin proposed and I said yes. We're engaged. A too long silence, then, oh nice. Congrats. No excitement, no questions about the ring, no celebration. We're planning a spring wedding, maybe 6 months out, I said, hoping for enthusiasm. That's soon. Send us the details. Pause. Oh, Harper landed the lead in a local play. We're so proud. My news faded, overshadowed again. Despite their tepid reaction, Justin and I moved forward. We chose a cozy Cambridge venue for a 60-guest ceremony, wanting intimacy over grandeur. We picked lilies and hydrangeas, a family-run Mediterranean caterer, and a photographer to capture raw, joyful moments. Every choice we made felt perfect, like we were crafting a day that truly showed who Justin and I are together. 4 months before the wedding, we mailed invitations to my parents, Harper, and some extended family. Weeks went by, but my family didn't RSVP. I called Mom, hiding the worry in my voice. Did you get the invitation? The venue needs a final head count soon. Yeah, we got it, she said. Your dad and I meant to call. We'll try to come, but you know how hectic things are. It's my wedding day, I said, my voice tight. I really want you there. Of course, honey, we'll do our best. But every call after that felt the same. Promises to show up, followed by excuses to skip planning or pre-wedding events. When I asked Dad about the father-daughter dance, he muttered about checking his schedule. Naomi, my maid of honor, was my rock. Her enthusiasm and care filled the void left by my family's disinterest. She threw a stunning bridal shower, helped pick my dress, and listened as I poured out my frustrations. They'll come around, she said. If not, I'll be right by your side, Olivia. You're not alone. Justin's family stepped up too. His mom tackled seating charts and favors. His dad insisted on helping with costs, despite our plan to cover everything. His sister, Olivia, hosted a second bridal shower, making me feel truly part of their family. But my family grew more distant. Calls home got short, distracted replies. Harper barely texted back, saying she was swamped with additions. I told myself it was just wedding stress, but deep down I sensed something was wrong. So I clung to hope. After years of letdowns, I believed my wedding would matter enough for them to show up, body and soul. With Naomi as my anchor and Justin's steady support, I kept planning, determined to make our day beautiful no matter who showed up. It'll be perfect because it's about you and Justin, Naomi said. The rest is just noise. Her words were my lifeline, but I never imagined how deeply my family would let me down. 2 weeks before my wedding, I was scrolling Instagram on my lunch break when a photo stopped me cold. Harper grinned at the camera, flashing a big diamond ring on her left hand. The caption read, "He said yes." I said yes. I stared stunned. Harper was engaged to Patrick Williams, her boyfriend of just 6 months, and no one told me. The comments overflowed with congratulations, including several from my parents. Mom wrote, "So thrilled for my precious girl. Can't wait for this weekend's party." My hands trembled as I dialed Mom. She answered on the second ring, chipper until she heard my voice. "Olivia, everything okay? I'm kinda swamped." "Harper's engaged?" I whispered, barely audible. Pause. "Oh, you saw her post?" "Yeah, Patrick proposed last weekend. So romantic at an upstate vineyard. Why didn't anyone tell me?" I cut in. "Well, sweetie, you've been so wrapped up in your wedding plans. We didn't want to stress you." Her tone felt off. I pushed harder. "What's this about a party this weekend? My wedding's in 2 weeks." A longer silence. "Harper's throwing a small engagement party Saturday. Just family and close friends." "This Saturday?" My stomach sank. "That's my wedding day." "Oh, honey, I thought your wedding was next weekend," she said, her confusion sounding fake. "Harper's had this party planned for ages." "How?" "She just got engaged." I said, shock giving way to logic. "They knew it was coming, just made it official." Mom dodged. Then calmly, "Could you and Justin maybe reschedule? We've got deposits down for Harper's party and everyone's set." Her words hit like a slap. Reschedule my wedding with 60 guests invited and contracts signed, for Harper's last-minute engagement party? "No, Mom, we can't reschedule. Everything's booked, ready to go. Well, Mom sighed like I was the one being difficult. We'll figure something out. But you know how much this means to Harper. She's been dreaming of this engagement forever. I've been planning my wedding for 6 months, I snapped, struggling to stay calm. You all RSVP'd. Dad's supposed to walk me down the aisle. We'll try to catch part of your ceremony, she said as if it was a fair deal. Maybe we can split time between both events. Stunned and hurt, I hung up, unable to keep talking. Right away I called Naomi. She was furious for me. That's absurd, she said. They can't expect you to share your wedding day or, worse, move it for an engagement party. An engagement party? Not even her real wedding. What do I do? I asked, tears welling up at my desk. Nothing, she said firmly. You have your beautiful wedding as planned. If they pick Harper's party over you, that's their mistake, not yours. I'll be there with you all day, Olivia. You're not alone. That night I told Justin. Anger flickered in his eyes, but he stayed calm for me. Your family's making a choice, he said softly. It's a bad one and it's on them, not you. Our wedding will be amazing because we'll be with people who truly care. What if my family doesn't show? I whispered, voicing my deepest fear. Then we'll still get married, celebrate, and start our life together, he said steadily. My family, our friends, they'll be there. Most importantly, we'll be there, vowing to be each other's family forever. His words helped, but the fear of my family abandoning me on my happiest day crushed me. I cried in Justin's arms that night, grieving not just their likely absence but the family bond I'd always craved. The next day I texted Harper. Congrats on your engagement. I wish you'd told me yourself. Can you move your party? I'd love you at my wedding. Hours later she replied, thanks. Sorry, party's all set. Maybe swing by after your reception? It'll be awesome. Harper's casual dismissal, ignoring that I couldn't possibly attend her engagement party during my wedding reception, was the breaking point. I didn't reply. Over the next few days, Mom's texts made it painfully clear they'd picked Harper's event over mine. Her last message stung. We'll try to swing by your ceremony if we can step away from Harper's party setup. Hope you get it. Family comes first. The irony hit hard. To them, Harper was family. I clearly wasn't. The day before my wedding buzzed with last-minute tasks and a 5 p.m. rehearsal. I hadn't heard from my family in 3 days, despite leaving voicemails begging them to at least join the rehearsal and dinner. The historic venue glowed as Justin and I arrived early to meet the coordinator. Late afternoon sun poured through tall windows, lighting up the polished wood floors and our simple floral displays. It should have been a thrilling moment. Your family not here yet? The coordinator asked as 5 p.m. neared. They might be delayed, I lied, the words bitter. Justin squeezed my hand as his family arrived, all smiles and excitement. His mom hugged me warmly. His dad patted Justin proudly and his sister Olivia snapped photos to capture every second of the weekend. By 5:30, with no sign of my family, we started the rehearsal without them. Our college friend, the officiant, led us with warmth and humor. Justin's 12-year-old cousin played ring bearer with such serious flair. Everyone chuckled. It was beautiful despite the empty space where my family should have been. As we wrapped up, my phone buzzed. I checked it, hoping it was my family saying they were coming. Instead, Mom texted, swamped with Harper's party prep. Good luck with rehearsal. Love you. I slipped my phone away, hiding how much her careless words hurt. Justin saw through me. They're not coming, are they? He asked softly as we headed to the rehearsal dinner. No, I said, my voice steady despite the pain. They're busy with Harper's party. His jaw clenched, but he just nodded. Their loss. The rehearsal dinner was at an Italian place near the venue. Justin's parents booked a private room, adorned with white roses and glowing candles. Place cards marked each seat at the long table, including empty ones for my missing family. I got through the appetizers before slipping to the restroom. Leaning on the sink, I took deep breaths to hold back tears. This was meant to be a joyful time, and I wouldn't let my family's absence ruin it. When I returned, Linda had quietly removed my family's place cards and rearranged the seats to hide the gaps. Her gentle smile and wink warmed my heart with gratitude for her kindness. The night carried on with toasts, stories, and laughter. If anyone saw my forced smiles or faraway looks, they didn't say. Naomi stayed by my side, her warmth steadying me as she charmed Justin's family and kept the chatter lively when I went quiet. "Tomorrow will be flawless," she said as we left. "I'll be at your hotel by 9 a.m. with coffee and breakfast. We'll do your hair and makeup, get you in that stunning dress, and you'll be Boston's most radiant bride." I hugged her tightly. "I'd be lost without you." "You'll never find out," she vowed. Back at the hotel, Justin kissed me goodnight before leaving to stay with his best man, keeping the tradition of not seeing each other before the wedding. "Tomorrow we're husband and wife," he said. "That's all that matters." Alone in my room, I tried one last time to reach my family. I called Dad, my heart racing as it rang. "Hello," he answered, distracted. "Dad, it's Olivia. Are you still coming tomorrow to walk me down the aisle?" A heavy pause. "I'm sorry, Olivia. Your mom needs help with Harper's party. It's a big deal for her." "Bigger than your daughter's wedding?" I asked, my voice cracking despite my effort to stay strong. "That's not fair. We didn't know the dates clashed." "There's no clash, Dad. You chose." Bitterness seeped through. "I'm sorry you feel that way," he said coldly. "Have a nice wedding." I hung up, sat on the bed's edge, and stared blankly at the wall. No tears came anymore. I felt empty, like something inside me had shattered beyond repair. My phone pinged with a text from Naomi. "Hey bride-to-be, how you holding up?" I forced a reply. "I'm okay. Excited to see you tomorrow." Her response came fast. "So sorry, but a family emergency popped up. I might be a bit late, but I'll make it before the ceremony. Don't stress." A twinge of unease hit me. Naomi was never this vague. "Is everything all right? Can I help?" I texted. "It's fine. Just gotta deal with this. Sleep well, big day tomorrow." Her words felt off, but I was too drained to dig deeper. To distract myself, I scrolled social media, then froze. Harper's new post showed her trying on a party dress, captioned, "Final fitting for tomorrow's big celebration. Can't wait to party with those who matter." The location tag hit me. Bellamy's boutique, where Naomi said she had an errand earlier that week. Dread rising, I checked the photo's likes. Naomi's name was there. Worse, her comment, posted 30 minutes ago. "You look gorgeous. Pumped for tomorrow." My hands shook as I opened Naomi's profile. A story she'd posted and deleted lingered, marked "posted 1 hour ago." The betrayal slammed into me. My best friend, my maid of honor who swore she'd stand by me, was choosing Harper's party over my wedding. I called Naomi. Straight to voicemail. I texted, "Saw Harper's post and your comment. Are you going to her party instead of my wedding?" Minutes dragged. Finally, 3 dots blinked, stopped, blinked again. Her reply, "I'm so sorry, Olivia. Harper begged me to come, said it'd mean a lot. I thought I could manage both, but the timing's off. I should have told you. I feel awful." The betrayal crushed me. I shut off my phone, unable to handle more. Curled up on the hotel bed, still in my clothes, I let out raw, choking sobs. Everyone I loved had picked Harper again, even on my wedding day. I must have cried myself to sleep because next thing my phone rang, sunlight pouring through curtains I forgot to close. Groggy, I answered without checking. "Olivia, it's Allison. I'm downstairs with coffee and bagels. Can I come up?" Allison Turner was my college junior year roommate. We'd kept in touch now and then, and I invited her to the wedding more for old times' sake than close friendship. I never expected her to show up at my hotel room on my wedding morning. "Sure," I croaked, voice rough from crying. "Room 312. Minutes later, a knock came. I opened the door to Allison, holding a tray with 2 coffees and a bakery bag. "Hey bride," she said brightly, then froze, seeing my face. "Oh, are you okay?" Her simple question shattered my shaky calm. To my embarrassment, I burst into tears right there in the doorway. Allison didn't flinch. She set the coffee and bag down and wrapped me in a hug. "It's okay, we'll sort this out," she said. Sobbing, I spilled everything. My family picking Harper's engagement party, Naomi's betrayal, leaving me without family or a maid of honor on my big day. When I finished, Allison met my eyes firmly. "First, your family and Naomi are acting awful. Second, I'm here and I'm staying. If you'll let me, I'd be honored to be your maid of honor today." "You'd do that?" I asked, floored by her kindness. "Of course. That's what friends do. Drink this coffee. I'll confirm the hair and makeup team for 9 a.m., and we'll make this the most beautiful wedding day ever, no matter who's missing." In that moment, Allison's fierce loyalty outshone those I'd trusted most, sparking a flicker of hope. Maybe my day could still be saved. "Thank you," I said, taking the coffee. "No thanks needed," she replied. "Let's get you ready to marry your true love." My wedding morning blurred with activity. The hairstylist and makeup artist arrived at 9, turning my puffy face radiant. Allison was an incredible stand-in maid of honor, meeting needs I didn't know I had, making me laugh with forgotten college stories, and keeping my mind off my absent family. When I slipped into my wedding dress, a sleek A-line with delicate lace, I almost felt like the bride I'd dreamed of. Almost. The ache crept back, knowing no mom would adjust my veil, no dad would walk me down the aisle. "You look stunning," Allison said, adjusting my veil with a gentle touch. "Justin won't know what hit him." I gave her a shy smile, staring at my reflection in the mirror. "I just wish." "I know," she cut in softly. "But today's about you and Justin, the life you're starting together. That's what counts." A knock at the door broke the moment. Allison opened it to reveal Robert, Justin's dad, looking sharp in his tuxedo but a bit uneasy. "Hope I'm not interrupting," he said, his warm eyes meeting mine. "Justin mentioned your dad might not be here. If you'd like, I'd be honored to walk you down the aisle. No pressure, just offering." His kindness hit me hard and tears welled up. "Robert, I'd love that." "Thank you." He smiled, his own eyes misty. "The honor's mine, Olivia. You've made Justin happier than we've ever seen him. You're already family. Today just seals the deal." At the venue, my phone stayed silent. No text from my parents, Harper or Naomi. I'd braced for their absence, but it still hurt. I took a deep breath and handed my phone to Allison. "Keep this for me. I want to stay focused during the ceremony." She nodded. "Got it. Ringer's off just in case." The wedding coordinator led us to a small room where I'd wait until the ceremony started. Through the window, I watched guests fill the seats, knowing most of mine would stay empty. 5 minutes, the coordinator called. The weight of it all hit me. I was about to get married without my family. Joy and sorrow swirled together, leaving me dizzy. "Ready?" Robert asked, offering his arm as the music swelled. I nodded, my throat too tight for words. Walking down the aisle felt like a dream. Smiling faces turned toward me, their soft gasps and murmurs blending into the background. Everything blurred until I locked eyes with Justin at the altar. His expression, full of awe, love, and unshakable certainty, was everything I needed. I barely noticed the empty front row on my side, the seats meant for family that would stay vacant. As Robert placed my hand in Justin's, the sting of absence faded, replaced by the warmth of his grip and the love in his eyes. "You look breathtaking," Justin whispered as we turned to face the officiant. The ceremony was short but packed with meaning. We'd written our own vows, and when Justin spoke, his words brought tears to my eyes and drew chuckles from our guests. "Olivia," he started, "I promise to be your partner, your equal in everything. I'll cheer your wins like they're mine, stand by you through every storm, and build a home where you're always valued. You're the strongest person I know, and your resilience and grace amaze me. Today, I'm not just gaining a wife. I'm starting a family with you, one where love is unconditional and support is unwavering. I love you, every part of you, just as you are." The reception was in the same venue, a gorgeous hall sparkling with twinkling lights and centerpieces of lilies and hydrangeas. Despite the missing faces, the room buzzed with love and joy. Justin's family and our friends filled it with laughter and chatter. If anyone noticed my side was absent, they were kind enough to keep it to themselves. Our first dance was to Etta James at last. We swayed softly in the center of the dance floor, our guests' eyes on us. When it ended, Justin's dad stepped up for the father-daughter dance, and tears pricked my eyes again. "Thank you," I whispered as we moved across the floor. "For everything today." He smiled warmly. "Your family now, Olivia. That's what we do." The night rolled on with toasts, dinner, and more dancing. I found myself smiling, truly enjoying the moment, even with the quiet ache beneath it all. Justin stayed close, as if he could sense when my mind wandered to those who weren't there. Then came the cake cutting, a stunning 3-tier creation adorned with flowers matching our centerpieces. Justin and I stood behind it, grinning for the photographer as we gripped the knife together. "Ready?" he asked. I nodded, and we sliced into the bottom tier, the room erupting in applause. Right then, my phone buzzed in the hidden pocket of my dress. I'd grabbed it from Allison during the cocktail hour, just in case of an emergency. While Justin served cake to our guests, I slipped a glance at the screen. A text from my mom: "We need to talk now." Below it, 36 missed calls from her, my dad, and even Harper, all in the last hour. My heart sank. Why this flood of calls after they'd all but ghosted me today? "You okay?" Justin asked, catching my expression. I showed him the phone. "I don't know what's going on." "Let it wait," he said firmly. "This is our day. They made their choice earlier." Part of me agreed, ready to mute my phone and dive back into the celebration. But another part, the part still hoping for a family connection I'd never really had, made me pause. "What if it's serious?" I asked. Justin looked at me, then softened. "If you need to call back, I get it. But you don't owe them today. This is about us." I squeezed his hand, grateful. "I'll step out for a minute. If it's nothing big, I'll be right back." I slipped into a quiet corner of the venue's garden and dialed my mom's number. She picked up on the first ring, her voice shaky and desperate. "Olivia, thank God. We've been trying to reach you for hours." "I was getting married, Mom," I said, a sharp edge in my tone. "What's so urgent?" Her next words flipped my world upside down, reshaping everything I thought I knew about today, my family, and the sister I always felt I could never outshine. "It's Harper," she said, her voice cracking. "Patrick called off their engagement at the party. He said he couldn't go through with it because Harper confessed what she did to you." I dropped onto a nearby bench, my mind reeling. "What do you mean? What did she do?" Mom's breathing was ragged, interrupted by sniffles. "Harper lied, Olivia. About everything. She planned her engagement party on your wedding day on purpose. She told us you changed your wedding date and didn't tell us because you didn't want us there." The ground seemed to shift under me. "What?" "She showed us fake texts from you," Mom continued, "saying you wanted nothing to do with us, that you were having a private ceremony with just Justin's family, your real family. She said you asked us not to come." My hand shook as I gripped the phone tighter. "Mom, I never sent those texts. I've been calling, texting, begging you all to come for weeks." "I know that now," she said, her voice barely a whisper. "Patrick confronted Harper today after she bragged about finally being the center of attention. She broke down and admitted it all. She faked those texts, deleted your real messages from our phones when we weren't looking, and even hid the invitation you sent." I could hardly breathe, Harper's betrayal hitting me like a tidal wave. "Why would you believe I didn't want you at my wedding? After all my calls, my voicemails." My dad's voice cut in and I realized I was on speaker. "She had an answer for everything, Olivia. She said you were just pretending to care, that you told her the truth about hating us. We should have questioned it, called you directly instead of trusting Harper. She was so convincing, she even cried about how hurt she was that you didn't want us there." The truth was coming together, but one piece still nagged at me. What about Naomi? Why did she pick Harper's party over my wedding? A heavy silence followed, thick with guilt. "Harper told Naomi you'd chosen someone else as your maid of honor," Mom said. "She showed her fake texts from you, claiming you only asked Naomi out of duty but found someone you clicked with more. Harper said the engagement party would spare Naomi the embarrassment of your wedding." I shut my eyes, remembering Naomi's sudden change of plans, her flimsy excuses. It all clicked now in the most gut-wrenching way. "Where's Harper now?" I asked, my voice steady despite the chaos inside me. "She took off after Patrick ended things," Mom said, her voice breaking. "We don't know where she is. Olivia, we're so sorry. We let you down completely. I don't expect forgiveness, but we had to tell you the truth." "I need time to process this," I said, my head spinning. "I'm in the middle of my wedding reception." "Of course," Dad jumped in. "We just couldn't wait to tell you. Can we see you tonight or tomorrow, whenever you're free?" The request felt unreal after everything. I'd dreamed of my wedding day with my family there, but they'd missed it all. The vows, the ceremony, the first dance. Those moments were gone forever. "I'll text you our hotel address," I said at last. "We'll be back around 11 tonight. Meet us in the lobby." I hung up and sat still, grappling with Harper's betrayal and my parents' blind trust. How could Harper plan something so vicious, so calculated? And how could my parents fall for it without ever talking to me? "Olivia." Justin's voice pulled me back. He stood nearby, worry carved into his face. You've been out here for 15 minutes. You okay? I looked at my husband, married just hours ago, and felt a wave of gratitude for his steady presence. No, I admitted. Nothing's okay, but I think it might be someday. I spilled everything, watching Justin's face shift from shock to fury to disbelief as the story unfolded. He struggled for words. That's not just jealousy or rivalry. Harper sabotaged our wedding day. That's cold, calculated cruelty. I told them we'd meet at the hotel after the reception, I said. I need to hear this face to face. I need to know how they believed I'd shut them out of my wedding. Justin grabbed my hands, his grip warm and steady. You sure you want to face them tonight? We could wait until after the honeymoon if you need a break. I shook my head. No, I need to deal with this now. I can't drag this weight with me for 2 weeks. Then we'll do this together, he said, his voice firm. Whatever you decide after hearing them out, I've got your back. We slipped back into the reception where the party was in full swing. Guests dancing, laughing, barely noticing we'd stepped away. I went through the motions for the rest of the night. Smiling, thanking friends, dancing with Justin and his family. But my mind kept circling back to the bombshell about my family that had flipped my world upside down. By 10:45, we made our exit through a cascade of rose petals, changed quickly at the hotel, and headed to the lobby to wait for my family. My stomach churned, my thoughts a tangled mess of questions and hurt. They showed up at 11:15, my parents looking worn out, their eyes red and puffy. Mom rushed toward me, arms open, but froze when I instinctively stepped back. Let's find somewhere private, Justin suggested, pointing to a small meeting room off the lobby that the hotel had left open. Once inside with the door shut, we stood in heavy silence until Dad spoke. Olivia, we don't expect you to forgive us. Believing Harper over you, missing your wedding, it's unforgivable. But we need you to know we're deeply, truly sorry. Sorry doesn't erase what happened, I said, my voice sharp. You missed my wedding. You believed I'd cut my own family out without even calling me to check if it was true. You're right, Mom whispered, tears pouring down her cheeks. No words can justify what we did. We failed you as parents, not just today but for years. Why was it so easy to believe I'd shut you out? I asked, the question searing my heart since that call. What kind of bond did you think we had that made Harper's lie seem true? My parents shared a pained glance before Dad spoke. Truth is, Olivia, we knew we'd been lousy parents to you. We favored Harper, skipped your big moments, didn't cheer your wins like we should have. When Harper said you didn't want us at your wedding, we bought it because deep down, we felt we'd earned your rejection. So you just gave up on me without even trying to fix things? I pressed. We were cowards, Mom admitted. It was easier to swallow Harper's lie than face how we'd let you down. She's our daughter too. We never dreamed she'd lie about something this big. Where's Harper now? I asked. Why isn't she here saying sorry herself? We don't know, Dad said. She took off after Patrick called her out. She's not answering us either. I shook my head, reeling from the betrayal. I don't get it. We've had our fights, but this kind of cruelty, I think she's always envied you, Mom said softly. Your smarts, your independence, the real bonds you create. We spoiled her, put her on a pedestal, but deep down I think she craved what you have naturally. True connections, real achievements. Justin, quiet until now, spoke up. That might explain her feelings, but it doesn't justify her actions. What she did was calculated and cruel. You're right, Dad said. There's no excuse. And we fed into it for years, always caving to her demands and tantrums. I studied my parents, really seeing them maybe for the first time as an adult. They looked smaller, weighed down by guilt and shame. Despite the pain, part of me longed for the family we might have been. I can't forgive you tonight, I said at last. I don't know if I'll ever fully get over you missing my wedding. But I'm open to trying for something new if you're serious about changing. They nodded quickly, tears streaming. That means facing the patterns that led here, I went on. It means therapy, individual and family. It means real accountability, not just for today but for years of neglect. Anything, Mom said without hesitation. We'll do whatever it takes. And Harper needs professional help too, I added. What she did isn't just sibling rivalry, it's way beyond that. We know, Dad said, nodding solemnly. When we find Harper, getting her help will be our top priority. We talked for another hour, diving into the painful but crucial conversation that started unraveling the toxic patterns woven into our family for years. No grand reconciliation happened that night. No tearful hugs to erase decades of hurt. But something changed. A door that had been locked tight cracked open. As Justin and I headed to our room, exhausted but oddly calm, he squeezed my hand. "You okay?" I thought about it for a moment. "Not yet, but I think I'm getting there." 6 months have passed since our wedding. Justin and I settled into our cozy apartment, figuring out the dance of married life together. Our honeymoon in Greece was a dream. Ancient ruins, sparkling waters, and a chance to breathe after the family chaos that clouded our big day. For 2 weeks, we soaked in the beauty, letting the hurt begin to fade. Back home, the real work kicked in. My parents kept their promise, starting therapy, both on their own and together. After some hesitation, I agreed to join them for family sessions. Every Thursday, we sat with Dr. Patterson, a therapist who specializes in adult family dynamics and estrangement. "Healing isn't a straight line," she said during a tough session. "You'll have steps forward and steps back. What matters is staying committed." Harper reappeared 3 days after the wedding, calling our parents from a hotel where she'd been hiding, too ashamed to face what she'd done. They persuaded her to come home and got her into therapy right away. It took me 2 months to agree to meet her. We chose a quiet cafe, a neutral spot halfway between our places. She looked different, smaller, stripped of the bold charm she always carried. "I don't know where to start," she said, her voice barely audible. "Sorry feels too small for what I did." "Why?" I asked, the question that had gnawed at me since that night. "Why go so far to wreck my wedding day?" Harper stared at her untouched coffee for a long time before speaking. "My therapist and I have been digging into this, into why I did it." She took a shaky breath. "Jealousy's the simple answer, but it's messier than that." She told me how she grew up feeling pressure to be perfect, to perform for our parents' approval. "They bragged about me in public, but at home they'd compare me to you. Why can't you be more driven like Olivia? Why not find a solid career like your sister?" I was stunned. "I always thought they favored you completely." "They did in some ways," she said, "but it came with strings. I had to be their perfect, charming daughter. You got to be real. You built a life with true friends, real successes. I was just playing a role." "But that doesn't justify sabotaging my wedding," I said, my voice steady. Tears welled in Harper's eyes. "When I saw you with Justin, so happy, so complete, it hit me hard. Patrick had just proposed, but it felt empty, like another act. I was jealous of your life, and when I couldn't have it, I wanted to ruin it. It was petty, cruel, and unforgivable." "It was," I said, not softening the truth of her actions. "I'm not asking for forgiveness," she rushed to say. "I don't deserve it. I just need you to know I see what I did, and I'm in therapy to make sure I never do anything like that again." That first talk was raw and uncomfortable, but it was a start. Over the next few months, Harper stuck with therapy, moved out of our parents' house, and took a job as an administrative assistant. Her first role that wasn't about performing or chasing the spotlight. My bond with my parents started to shift. They made real efforts to know me, not the kid they'd overlooked, but the woman I am now. Mom called regularly, asking about my job, my passions, my life with Justin, not just about Harper. Dad sent articles about my field and asked smart questions about my work. For the first time, I felt like they actually saw me. Not fully, not perfectly, but sincerely. The wall of resentment I'd built over years started to crack, letting in tiny glimmers of hope. Reconciling with Naomi was tougher. When she learned about Harper's lies, she was crushed. She sent flowers, cards, emails, begging to explain and apologize. I ignored them for weeks, the sting of her betrayal too raw. Finally, I agreed to a phone call. "I should have called you myself," she said, her voice heavy with regret. "I should have known you'd never replace me without a word. We've been friends too long for that." "You should have," I said. "That's what hurts most. You assumed the worst about me without even asking." "I have no excuse," she admitted. "I'm so sorry, and I'll do whatever it takes to earn your trust back if you'll give me a chance." Rebuilding trust is harder than starting fresh. With Naomi, it was slow and sometimes painful. We began with occasional texts, then monthly coffee meetups, inching toward something like friendship again. The easy closeness we once had still felt out of reach, but Allison, who stepped up to save my wedding day, unexpectedly became a close friend, filling a gap I didn't know I needed. Allison became a fixture at our lunches, seamlessly weaving herself into our tight-knit circle. She joined Justin and me for cozy dinners at our apartment or movie nights filled with laughter and popcorn. Her warmth and easy humor made her feel like family, a steady presence I hadn't realized I needed so much. For our first anniversary, we decided to host a small dinner party at our place. Nothing fancy, just a heartfelt gathering with the people who mattered most. I wanted it to be intimate, a moment to celebrate not just our marriage but the life we were building together. My parents arrived early, their arms wrapped around a thick photo album they'd carefully put together. It was a treasure trove of moments from my childhood, school plays, science fairs, quiet milestones they'd once brushed past. Flipping through it, I felt a pang of bittersweet joy, seeing their effort to honor the parts of me they'd overlooked for so long. Harper showed up too, quieter than the sister I'd known, her usual spark dimmed. She handed me a small, thoughtful gift, a hand-painted journal, and her presence carried a weight, like she was still searching for who she could be without the spotlight. Halfway through dinner, as plates piled high with pasta and glasses clinked with wine, Justin tapped his glass for attention. His eyes danced with excitement, locking onto mine for a moment. I gave him a small nod, my heart racing with our shared secret. "We've been holding on to some big news," he said, his voice warm as he reached for my hand. "Olivia and I are expecting a baby, due in June." The room exploded with joy. Cheers, gasps, and wide smiles all around. Mom's eyes welled with happy tears, Dad's face lit up with a proud grin, and Harper leaned in for a gentle hug, her voice soft in my ear. "You're going to be an incredible mom, Olivia." As the night wound down and our guests trickled out, Justin and I stood side by side, washing dishes in the quiet of our kitchen. He glanced at me, his hands submerged in soapy water, and asked, "Are you happy with how things are with your family now?" I paused, letting the question settle. "I'm at peace," I said, my voice steady but honest. "It's not perfect. Sometimes the old hurt sneaks back, sharp and sudden. But we're building something new, something grounded in truth. That feels like enough for now." I rested a hand on my still flat stomach, feeling the quiet promise of the life growing there. With our baby coming, I want them to know their grandparents and aunt, but on my terms. I'm setting clear boundaries to make sure our child never doubts their worth or wonders if they're loved. That cycle of favoritism and neglect? I'm breaking it for good. Justin nodded, drying a plate with a soft smile, his quiet support anchoring me as always. The journey since our wedding day has been anything but smooth. It's been a winding path of tough conversations, raw emotions, and moments where I questioned if healing was even possible. But through it all, I've learned that families aren't set in stone. They're living, breathing relationships that can shift and grow with real effort. My parents' commitment to therapy, their willingness to face their mistakes, has started to reshape our connection. It's slow, sometimes messy, but it's real. I've also discovered the strength in setting boundaries. I used to think saying no to family meant losing them, but now I see it as a gift to myself. Demanding respect, stepping away from relationships that drain me, it's freed me to focus on the ones that lift me up. It's not about cutting people out, it's about choosing who I let in and how close. Forgiveness, I've learned, isn't a single moment. It's a process, a slow unraveling of pain that can't be rushed. It's not about pretending the hurt never happened or sweeping it under the rug. It's about facing it head-on, understanding why it cut so deep, and choosing to move forward with clearer eyes and stronger walls. Some days I still feel the sting of standing alone at my wedding, but I'm learning to let it guide me rather than define me. Looking ahead as Justin and I prepare to become parents, I carry these lessons like a compass. I'm no longer the girl who begged for scraps of approval from parents too distracted to see me. I'm a woman who knows her worth, surrounded by love that feels honest and unshakable. Every day I choose to nurture relationships that feed my soul. Justin's steady presence, Allison's fierce loyalty, and even the fragile growing bond with my parents and Harper. That wedding day when I walked down the aisle with empty seats on my side, broke my heart in ways I didn't think I could bear. But from that shattering came a clarity I might never have found otherwise. It forced me to confront what I deserved, to demand better, and to build a life rooted in love and respect. For that, despite the pain, I'm grateful. It wasn't the day I'd dreamed of, but it set me on a path to a stronger, truer version of myself. Our dinner party wasn't just a celebration of 1 year of marriage. It was a marker of how far we've come. My parents' photo album wasn't just a gift. It was an apology in tangible form, a step toward mending what was broken. Harper's quiet presence wasn't just her showing up. It was her trying in her own way to rebuild what she'd torn down. And our baby's announcement wasn't just news. It was a promise of a new chapter, one where I get to rewrite the story for the next generation. I think back to the therapy sessions with Dr. Patterson, where we peeled back layers of hurt and misunderstanding. Those hours were grueling, sometimes leaving me raw, but they taught me that healing isn't about perfection. It's about showing up even when it's hard and being honest about what needs to change. My parents are trying. Mom's calls to ask about my day, Dad's emails with articles about my field. They're small gestures, but they mean something. They're proof they're listening now. Harper's journey is different, but she's trying too. Her therapy has helped her unravel the jealousy and pressure that drove her to hurt me. Seeing her in that cafe, stripped of her usual bravado, I realized she's not the villain I'd made her out to be. She's human, flawed, and struggling to find her way. It doesn't erase what she did, but it helps me see her as more than her mistakes. Naomi's absence at the dinner party stung, though we're slowly rebuilding. Our coffee meetups are tentative, but they're a start. I miss the effortless friendship we once had, but I'm learning that trust, once broken, takes time to mend. Allison, though, has filled a space I didn't know was empty. Her loyalty on my wedding day, stepping in when I needed her most, forged a bond one cherished deeply. As I stood in our kitchen that night, stacking plates next to Justin, I felt a quiet strength. This life we're building isn't just about us anymore. It's about the family we're creating, the values we'll pass on. I want our child to grow up knowing they're enough, not because they perform or please, but because they exist. I want them to see love as steady, not conditional, and to learn that boundaries aren't walls. They're bridges to healthier connections. The scars from that wedding day will always be there, faint but present. They remind me of what I've survived and what I've learned. That pain can be a teacher, that heartbreak can lead to growth. I'm not the same person who stood alone at the altar, aching for a family that wasn't there. I'm stronger, clearer, and surrounded by people who choose me as fiercely as I choose them. Have you ever had to rebuild trust with someone who broke your heart? How did you find the balance between forgiving them and protecting yourself from more pain? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. If this journey spoke to you, hit like and subscribe for more real-life reflections. Thanks for walking this path with me. Healing isn't about hiding your scars. It's about carrying them with pride, knowing they've shaped you into someone stronger.